Hello and welcome to the Accent team. Today's training video is on buyer orientations. And the reason we do buyer orientations is we need to establish a relationship, build rapport, and do basically a buyer listing. And that's where we sit down and we deliver our vision, which is educating and communicating with our clients in such a way that they make great decisions. Without doing a buyer orientation, you're going to chase people around that see no value in what we do and show them houses, and then they'll walk up to a open house or a for sale by owner and buy it because they don't understand what realtors or buyer specialists do. And this is a critical step and a mandatory step in what we do in the process of serving our clients. Okay, so we'll cover it. It's about 25 slides now, and we'll cover it very, very quickly, but you'll be expected to do this with each buyer that you work with, and so practicing this and the scripts that are involved are really important. So first, what you want to do is you want to say thank you for coming in and explain the reason why we do this. We think that a educated consumer is a much better consumer, and everything we do is based in our vision, and that's educating and communicating in such a way that we help our clients make great decisions. Generally, you use the forward principle, so tell me about your family, tell me about your occupation, your recreation, some of your dreams. You know, if you could have your dream house, what would it be? And you just loosen up. And then you say, okay, so I'm going to start this, and this is really Accent School of real estate and making you a better consumer. And we'll shoot through these, and then we'll get to look at actual properties that are on the market that fit your criteria, and then we'll set up times to go out and show those properties. I have keys to all of them and those basic processes. So first, we always want to share our vision, and that is educating our clients and communicating in such a way that we help them make great decisions. Every interaction we should talk about that so that they understand we're serving them and not just pushing them. We're not salespeople. We talk about our core values just briefly. We make decisions in a set of core values, so every decision is consistent, and it's great attitude and family and accountability and respect, especially the win-win or no deal. I don't want you as a client buying a house if it's not good for you. I don't want you buying the wrong house, so my job is to make sure we create a win-win or no deal. We're going to cover market conditions, reasons to buy, in today's market, the home buying process, some trends. We're statistic junkies, and just the Accent team difference in everything that we do in serving our clients. So locally, nationally, the average family moves every 5 years. Locally, they're moving about every 7 years right now. Average listing inventory is running between 6,000 and 7,000 homes on the market right now, and that varies as the market fluctuates. Average price is running at about 150,000, and doesn't mean you have to buy in that range. It's whatever fits you, but on average, they're selling for about 150 in our market, and the sales to list price ratio is about 96.28%. That means if we buy a house that's listed at 100,000 on average, the seller is coming down to about $96,280 on average. Some are going to be less, some are going to be more. One of the things that I'll share with you as a buyer is if the house is way overpriced, we're going to come in a lot lower than that. And if the house is underpriced, we might come in above what they're asking. So it all depends on the situation in the house. But again, that's average. Average market time is about 60 days too on our market. Interest rates are phenomenal right now. We're estimating they're going to go up. And whatever market we're in as a buyer specialist, you need to be aware of the trends and what we're expecting. Right now they're a little over 4. They're expecting over 5 by the end of this year in 2014. Should I date this video? And we're in a recovering market right now, so the next 10 years should be pretty glorious with a slow recovery and increase in value in real estate. That's why it's an incredible time to buy versus the peak and then the crash and real estate bust. There's higher inventory, lower demand that will transition. Right now we're in a buyer's market. We will move into a seller's market, and the list to sales price ratio will tighten up. There'll be more competition for the buyer. So right now is a perfect time to buy. Also, with lending, it has changed a lot since the boom and the bust, but point of entry is small, so generally about 3.5% of the purchase price we can get in with a down payment. If we use an FHA loan, VA is even less, and so we can get in very affordably. All right, this one is on interest rates, and again, it's just been phenomenal. We were up at 6.5 when I bought my first house. I bought it at 10%, and now we're down to around 4%. And again, they're expecting 5% over by the end of the year, about 5.25, and that will make a pretty significant difference in your monthly payment. As far as another reason to buy real estate, it's a great investment. If you look at it compared to the stock market, our return on investment in the last 14 years, stock market's been about 49%, S&P has been about 33%, NASDAQ has been, or the Dow has been about 49%, NASDAQ's been about 9.3%, real estate was 65.7%, even in the biggest bust that we can remember in our lifetime. So it is a great investment. Principal and interest in varying interest rates. So 1% interest rate on a approximately $250,000 house is going to make a couple $100 in a month in difference in a payment, and over the lifetime of a loan, that adds up to over $70,000 worth of expenses. And so buying when the interest rate is low is really, really, really critical. All right, so the process. What needs to be done as a buyer? First, we need to get with a lender unless we're buying with cash. They need to qualify us and approve us for a loan and the type of loan and the amount of loan. We attend a buyer orientation, which is what you're attending now. Set up a personal website. We're going to do that after this. We're going to select homes to view. My job is to help you find the best home for the best price and the best terms, and then we're going to schedule times to view. I've got a key to all of those. And then when we find one, and generally we look at 3 to 5 homes before we write an offer. When we find one, we'll make an offer. A lot of people go, whoa, that's not very many. In reality, we're looking at hundreds, if not thousands of homes because we use the internet. It just shortens the learning curve so much. And so we're going to look at a lot of homes. We're going to narrow down thousands of homes to your specific criteria, and then we're going to pick the ones we want to see, and generally a handful of homes, and we'll nail it as well, as long as I listen, and listening is part of my job. And then we'll write that offer. I'll help you negotiate as well, and then once we negotiate a contract, the offer is accepted. We'll schedule inspections. We'll create, if there are any issues with the house, what we call the TRR, treatment, repair, and replacement. And then we'll negotiate that with the seller as well. At that point, a lot of things happen behind the scenes, and so we kind of hurry up and wait. Generally, a closing is 30 to 45 days from when we negotiate a contract, and but everything is handled by our team, and so we just get excited about the move in our new house. Then we do a final walkthrough towards the end, and then we go to closing, where we sign our name 100 times, and it's time to celebrate. It's just a neat experience. All right, pre-qualified versus pre-approval. Pre-qualified is just generally a surface check on our financial ability. Pre-approval is what we really need, and that means the lender has run your credit, verified income, looked at debt to income ratios, assets, and things like that. And we'll receive a pre-approval letter for the amount a lender will loan you. So it's not too big of a process, just takes a little bit of time. And what that does is it turns you into a qualified buyer. It's basically like being a cash buyer. So if we are up against other buyers, and that happens a lot, where we're negotiating on the same house, or we write an offer where someone else has written an offer, and they aren't qualified, or they're just pre-qualified instead of pre-approved, we'll stand head and shoulders above them in our in what the buyer sees as a sure deal. It's going to save you time, money, and energy. We act fast when we find a house that we like. We always say the good ones go fast. We need to move fast, okay? And it gives you confidence. All right, so things you'll need for pre-approval: 2 most recent pay stubs, 2 years W-2s, 2 recent bank statements, and 2 years employment verification, and driver's license and social security number. And a lot of it you can do over the phone, but you're going to have to get some of this stuff to the lender. All right, and then when we set up a personal website, we're going to create a file for you that scans the entire MLS system. And the MLS system is the multiple listing service, and that's what the realtors use for their database. And we're going to put in things like how many bedrooms we want, how many baths we want, what size garage, school district, location, price range, year built, square footage. We can use so many specific criteria, and again, it narrows down our search. And one of the great things about our system is we're going to set up the system to email it directly to your inbox. You can save favorites, and it'll update hourly, so anytime a new home comes on the market, you will be notified sometimes faster than the agents. So sometimes you know before a sign goes in the yard. It's just the speed is key, and that's what gets you the best homes first. And again, selecting homes to view. Once we pick some to view, the average person looks at about 5 homes before choosing one to make an offer. And the most important aspect of our relationship is your feedback. As we go through the houses, I'm going to ask you things like, okay, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Can you see yourself living here? Does your furniture fit? You know, what would you do? Those types of things. And you've got to be honest with me. Again, I'm helping you find the best home for you. And so your feedback is critical. And it's, again, buyer representation on our side versus seller representation. The seller is being represented by their listing agent. When we're working on the buying side and buying a piece of property, I'm working on your side, on your behalf. For sale by owners, a lot of people think, well, what do I do with those? And the first thing you do is you call us. For sale by owners are houses for sale. Let's look at them if they fit our criteria, but don't call them directly. Again, one of my jobs is to protect you and make sure you make great decisions. I have seen situations where renters put the house up for sale that they were living in because the seller lived in another piece of property, collected $1,000 in earnest money, cashed a check, and moved out in the middle of the night. There was a couple in Stillwater that were renters. They posed as the owners and went all the way to closing and collected $40,000 in equity, a closing check, and walked away because they were not the owners, they were the renters. And so it's amazing. I've had seen for sale by owners where the house had been burned out before and they were trying to hide it. Just a variety of things. Again, our systems protect you and make sure that we don't make any mistakes. New home builders, they also pay our commission. They will either pay an on-site salesperson a commission, or they'll pay us a commission and pay the on-site salesperson less. So it's a split. It doesn't cost the seller or the builder any more for us to represent you than their own salesperson, which is representing the builder and trying to get them the most amount possible. So again, we want you to contact us, and you can get some of our business cards if you do happen to walk into an open house and a builder. You just hand them our business card and say, hey, this is the person that's representing me, and they'll call me, not you. All right, so scheduling time to view. If we're looking at properties, some people like to do it over lunch, right after work, before work, that type of thing. Generally, it takes 20 minutes per home, including or plus drive time, I'm sorry. And then one of the best tools we have for rating properties is we rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'll always ask you, okay, so as we go through this house and we're done seeing it, how do you rate it? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 or 10 being you'd move right in today, or 1, you wouldn't live here if it was the last house on earth. And a lot of people think that's funny, but we need to understand what you like and how these houses fit your needs. Generally, an 8, 9, or 10 says that it's a good house for you. And then if one of the things that's critical, if you're married, to discuss this with your spouse. It's not a single spouse decision, and so discussing what's important to you, each of you, before viewing is really, really critical. And that's kind of what we do in the buyer orientation as well. I want to hear both of your inputs. All right, then select homes to make an offer. The buyer specialist will research the home, the area, and what has been selling. We call it a CMA, a comparative market analysis. It is the same as an appraisal. Actually, I think it's better than an appraisal. We have a better idea and concept of what's selling and what does not. But this helps us in making an offer and understanding if the house is priced right, way overpriced, underpriced, whatever. And so we're going to do that research for you. Again, not charging you. We do it as part of the process. We don't charge you $500 for an appraisal. Now, later we will have an appraisal back up our information, and they've got to confirm that what we paid, they're doing this for the bank. You're paying for it, but they're doing this for the bank and confirming that the amount you paid is not out of the ordinary. Then we write an offer based on all the information we have discovered. We write an informed and an educated offer based on market value, condition, our motivation, and those types of things, again, within reason. So many times in the past, in my parents' generation, everybody offered 20% less than what a property was listed at. That's because they didn't have the information we have now. Again, we need to look at each situation. Each situation is unique. Sometimes if it's underpriced, we're going to offer over. But we understand it's a good market, it's a competitive market, still a buyer's market, moving into a seller's market. We just can't offer 20% less and expect to buy real estate. We'll just continue to look at real estate and never buy one. We have to be educated. Okay, it's only an offer until the other side accepts, and then it's a contract once everybody accepts. And then earnest money. Earnest money is the money we put up front that says, I am interested in this property, and it's typically 1% of the offer. So if it's a $200,000 house, it's about $2,000 on average. All right, so we're going to go through the entire contract. My recommendation is we've got a copy of it for you. It's dry reading. If you have trouble sleeping at night, pull that out of your packet. It's 6 pages now, I think, and you need to go through it so that when we actually write an offer, we're moving through it quickly. We have got to get an offer in quickly, and we don't want to spend a day or two thinking about the verbiage in the contract. Take this home with you and go through it as well. And then the contract that we use is an Oklahoma Real Estate Commission contract. Everybody uses the same one, and it's good. It's just a good, solid contract. All right, things to negotiate. Everything or almost everything is negotiable. Price, closing date, earnest money, repair cap, and that's the TRR we talked about before, inspection period, closing costs, home warranty, refrigerator, and those types of things. And so we will guide you through that process of negotiation. Once we have everything negotiated, again, it is a contract. Then we are headed towards closing. That's when we do the inspections. We do inspections on major items only. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing, wood-destroying organisms, termites, roof, and structural. It's not peeling wallpaper. It is not a cracked tile in the shower and those types of things. We can ask sellers to do those types of things, but generally it's better to focus on the main structural or main items in the inspection period. Generally, we have a 10-day period to do inspections. And in Oklahoma, our inspectors need to be licensed, and that's good. So in that 10-day period, we can basically back out for any reason. If we determine that that house is not solid and really has some issues or whatever it might be, we cancel the contract and we get our earnest money back. Okay? TRR, again, treatments, repair, and replacement, is a compilation of flaws found during the inspection. And the repair cap, we put in the contract, we set a number up front that says we think we're going to need $1,000 or $500 or $2,000 of repair cap liability, and then the seller agrees to that. So anything we find within that range, the seller has to do. If the repair cap is exceeded, we have to renegotiate those repairs. So we find something big that we didn't expect or something like that, and we'll help you with all of that. The hurry up wait time, during this time repairs will be made. Title and abstract company is researching property title, bringing the abstract up to date, preparing documents, the lender is, and all those things that need to be done. It just really requires your patience. That's a good time to arrange for packing and things like that. And then the appraisal is ordered by the lender. Generally, the appraisal is going to cost about $450. It's paid by the buyer when the offer is accepted. And then basically what the appraisal does is it ensures that we don't overpay for a property. Right close to closing, once everything is done and we're ready to go, we schedule a time to view the home to confirm all repairs have been made to your satisfaction. And it's usually a couple of days ahead of closing to allow time for any additional corrections to be made. And we'll be there to present you as well. And at closing, at this point, it takes generally half an hour to an hour depending on questions and that type of thing. But you sign your name again a lot, and at that point, and bring your money, cashier's checks, or money orders, and then at that point you walk away with keys. And so it's pretty exciting, just nothing like it. I bought my first piece of real estate when I was in college, and still keep on buying, so it's just a wonderful experience. All right. Trends on this slide, it talks about prices are starting to rise, and they are. Interest rates still low but increasing. Use of technology continues to be a big part of the real estate. This is a Ryan thing, isn't it? Ryan is detailed. And 90 to 91% of people start their search on the internet. That is so true. And so we're going to guide you through that whole process. You're always going to be working with a specialist with Accent Realtors. I'm going to be your main focus when we're buying a home. So your day-to-day contact, and then when we get a contract, you're going to work with Susan Molinar, our contracts manager that is amazing at getting us from point of contract to closing. And just the benefits are availability, knowledge, and an expert in every step of the transaction. And then communication. We are reachable, and we are here to help you make great decisions. So, any questions that I haven't covered, things you've thought of since I was telling you about this? Okay, and that's it. Now, a couple more notes. I would probably recommend a little more communication. How many minutes did that take?
That was 22 total, so it's probably 21 minutes of
okay.
slideshow.
Right, and so I would recommend a little more interaction, saying things like, does that make sense? Any questions on this particular slide? Have you heard of anything or had any past experience, and I would know if they had bought before and sold before and that type of thing. How long ago was it? And I explained how the market was different. Some of this is a little repetitious, so I might change some of this, but that's the basic buyer orientation. And again, it's educating, so we manage expectations and what to do. I would probably throw one more thing in here, and that would be we set a closing date. And the majority of the time we hit a closing date right on the nose, but sometimes in today's world things get sideways, and inspections or repairs take too long, or the lender has too many hoops to jump through or something like that. So I want you to bet on closing, but I do not want you to bet your life on it. Don't spend any money while we're in the closing process, because that will crater your financing. Don't go out and buy furniture ahead of time. Don't do any credit. All those things, you just cannot do that. And so you have to wait patiently and then be a little flexible. And so any contracts that you might do or deals that you might do, put it contingent upon the successful closing of this house. And so it's just things I would add to it. Okay? And that's all. Hope you enjoyed the presentation.